Good evening, everyone. We hope you are well. Welcome back to the Mancunian way. It is Thursday night, and you know what that means. It is Thursday night chat time. And we have got Pat and Alan with us today, and Rich will be joining as well. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good morning from Melbourne. How are you?
Hello from Sydney. Hello, Alan. Hello, Martin. Hello, everybody. Hello, Rich, who's just joined us. Thank you.
Hello, all.
It's not the Eurovision. What we're doing this good evening from Melbourne, good evening from Sydney. What's that about?
Well, it's not.
It's not Eurovision. Good evening.
Yeah, but it's not.
Holland,
Yeah, but it's not Europe.
Holland.
Yeah, Martin Hudfield.
Martin, you're lucky you didn't ask me to start the show, mate. I would have. Oh,
Alan Howarth.
Welcome to the Australian way. It's the convict takeover.
It's the convict takeover, absolutely.
Yeah. You came in planes, we came in chains.
Manchester United, nil point. Probably more apt.
Oh dear. Anyway, good evening to everyone. I hope you're all well. I don't know why that's playing on in the background. Tonight we have got three very good topics here. We're going to talk obviously about the Ballon d'Or to begin with, how Haaland was robbed, in our general opinion. But how Lionel Messi did win the Ballon d'Or. And if you remember, we did a show on this a few months back, and we all agreed it was political BS. And it proved to be that way. We're also going to talk about the rumours going around of Pep's apparently impending new contract that will be... we'll dive into the rumours and the stuff between that, and we'll also preview another Saturday 3 p.m. kickoff for Manchester City Football Club. Don't want us on TV anymore. 3 o'clock Saturday, get it done. Old style for the Blues. Yeah, before we do start our march. So on our television, because this may be the last Saturday 3 o'clock for a little while, I think. Yeah, let's say some hellos. BB, good evening, mate. Get them likes up. Yeah, like I said, we started at 10 past. You've got till 20 past to hit 51 likes. That is the record. Can we do it? Challenge over to you lot. Yes, boys, says sub 2. Old Trafford is falling down. It definitely is. But I still don't think we should get rid of Erik ten Hag. And that's me not even being a wind-up merchant. I actually don't think they should get rid of him. I think it's one of the worst things they could do, personally. But hey-ho. Peter Gresty, good evening, mate. How are you? Evening Blues, Muddy Duck, hope you and your loved ones are well and Storm Kieran has not affected you. Yes, if you are in the UK, there is a Storm Kieran driving through everything at the moment. Yeah, I hope you're all safe. I've been in the pouring down rain and freezing cold this evening. MCFC says, John Walters, evening, Martin and gang, fellow Blues, hope you are all well. We are, hope you are too, Mark. Sub 2, throwing up the Champions League. Hi, all Blues. Hello, Pardo Oaks. Abdallah's with us. What's up, everyone? Hope you are well, mate. Rumour has it Martin can drop a mad rap over this intro. I can't, mate. No chance. Jack Lee, reminding everyone of what we are, champions of Europe. Good evening, Adam Quinn. How are you, mate? No complacency this weekend. Please remember Wolves. Good point. We'll get into that in topic 3. Anyone want to meet in the Tamley on Saturday and watch Fulham beat United? They are. I'll let you all respond back to Cade. Just living what's happening at the Swamp. It is funny, but honestly, I don't think. I mean, we'll touch on it for 5 minutes because I don't think we should. Hello, all of you. Hey up, Martin. Messi won that sentiment alone. He did. 100%. Lionel Messi is the GOAT of football. He deserves the award. The man is a genius. He is a genius, but he's done jack shit this year, Reese. That's why he doesn't deserve it, but I'll get into that anyway. Aussie Vision. Yeah. I don't know what to say about that one. Haaland was robbed. He was. Manchester United cancelled through lack of interest. Evening Blues, only blue in the village. Here are the scores from Southport. Mount is flop of the season. He's not really had a chance. Hello, everyone. I'll try and be here. Still busy, but not as busy yesterday. I couldn't even make it yesterday. Don't worry about it, Julia. We threw that up and then realised that there was live games going on, so it did affect the numbers a little bit. But if you haven't watched it, get over and watch the Pep versus Sir Alex debate from yesterday. It was really good. Old Trafford is falling down. It is. Lionel Messi's a genius. Erling Haaland was not robbed. That's your opinion. My opinion, he was robbed, mate. Lionel Messi is a genius, but again, what did he do last year? And it goes off a yearly award, not what you've done through your... If you were going off for what he's done in his past, give him the Lifetime Achievement Award. But he's not been the best player in the world in the last 12 months, whether you like that or not. He did nothing at PSG, and he's done nothing at LA. Or into Miami, sorry. So, no, he doesn't deserve it, in my opinion. It was sentiment. End of. Julian Alvarez did more than Lionel Messi last season.
Agree.
I
don't think it was Haaland who was robbed, though. I wouldn't have given Haaland City's best player. And incidentally, you didn't give Haaland City's player of the year. You gave it to Nathan Ake, Martin. So you must think Nathan Ake was robbed from the Ballon d'Or.
No. I said when I said it, I give it on different reasons. I give it on what Ake did last season. What he had to achieve, what he came back from.
Yeah.
Anyway, right. So let's get it. I mean, I will get some of your comments.
Messi only did it for Argentina in 4 weeks.
Well, Julian Alvarez actually had a better scoring to minutes ratio in the World Cup. Fact. Anyway, before we move on to that, because Alvarez only scored 3 less goals than Haaland, than Messi, but had 300 minutes less on a football pitch. Fact. Anyway, let's sort of move on to just a quick word. I'm going to throw this out. Anyone here would get rid of Erik ten Hag. And I don't mean this in a take the mickey job. I'm being deadly serious now. Anyone here would sack him? Yes or no?
No. Everything at United, I hate agreeing with Gary Neville, but everything at United comes from the top. The fish rots from the head, and the head at United rotted years ago, and they could bring any players. I mean, they could bring any players, any manager in, and they would fail. I think at the moment, even Pep would probably fail at United. They are such a mess of a side, and it comes from the top. Poor facilities, poor planning, no strategy, no identity, all about making money. That's all they are. So I just think that, it's time that, United fans either accepted they're being mediocre, or they actually properly protested with more than, by actually not going to the games. Because the only way the Glazers go is if they stop making money. If that becomes a financial drain on them, they go. And as long as United fans protest in yellow scarves and then give all their money to the Glazers, why are the Glazers going to care? And they are an absolute example of how not to run an organisation.
Like I said, this is just a quick one. We're not having a 20-minute big match on this.
But if I was Ten Hag, I'd walk.
By the way, just to remind you, Rich, the Glazers, Joe Glazer and that don't play on the pitch, mate. Just to let you know.
It doesn't matter. The CEO of a company doesn't serve the restaurants or fly the planes or make the trainers.
So what you're telling me is,
if
Rick,
the organisation is run badly,
because they've got a leaky roof, that makes them a shit team.
It's because they've got
garbage, absolute garbage.
But basically, from the very top, they don't have a proper football department. They don't have a proper infrastructure department. They don't get the best.
They don't even have a sporting director
stuff in. They don't get the best amount of stuff in. Everything. They don't plan for 3 years about who they're going to sign and sign the right players. Everything they do for making money, and they do for short term. They sign players for TikTok and to appease the fans complaining the week before. So everything is knee jerk. So I don't care. they haven't signed crap footballers. A lot of the footballers they signed the last 10 years who've ended up being terrible.
Yes,
But
they have.
no, a lot of them have been good players. Sancho was not a terrible
Johnny Evans
player
played in the
at
6th
Dortmund.
10 years ago, mate.
That's
He
Johnny
has no
Evans,
right
but
to
they've
be
signed.
playing last Sunday.
No, yeah, but that's Johnny Evans is not why United are in a mess.
No, hang
But
on.
they're in a mess because they turn. Right. Listen here, right?
Johnny Evans,
United.
Milkman.
Excuse me.
Take United's 10. Take United's 10 and City's best 10 signings the last 10 years. Every United player they've signed has got worse, possibly apart from Fernandes. Every player gets worse. Why? And that was under Mourinho, that was under Moyes, that was under Louis van Gaal, it was under Ollie, it's under Ten Hag. Nearly every player City signed, with probably one exception, has got better. They are a mess, and until those owners go, they are going to get worse and worse and worse, no matter who they sign and who manages them. And what'll be even funnier is if
Rich, we're moving on.
25%.
On this, turn into a Rich rant. It's more of a Rich rant than it was when we actually did the Rich rant. That
a rich celebration of United's mediocrity.
Go on, Pat, quick. I want to.
Look, just quickly. Look, it doesn't just come from the top or from the bottom. I think it just comes from everywhere. You know, shit rolls downhill basically. So for me, yeah, it comes down to the ownership as much as what it does on the pitch too. Ten Hag does have to take a little bit of responsibility, but keeping in mind he is using players from other failed managers as well too. So that has to be a little bit of a factor as well. But I think they need to keep the faith and buck the trend and stay with Ten Hag, because otherwise it's just rinse and repeat with managers just trying to handle a difficult squad, a difficult club that's in a difficult position right now, and it's just repeat. I think they just need to keep the faith and keep going and just see if things can. I think they've just got to have a little bit more patience, and if they have to sort of go against what is basically a very cutthroat fan base, then so be it. But if it means that they're willing to actually sit down and actually try and make some changes, then I'm sure that eventually, sooner or later, the most stubborn fan will probably listen. So I think they've just got to go against what they've been doing for the last 3 or 4 years. So, well, to be honest, 10 years. But yeah, I just think they just need to keep some faith in it, because he still needs time to put the right pieces in place. And whether any sort of gradual success can be reflected in the club, it remains to be seen. But again, I still think from the top down, it still needs a bit of a reset. And probably, I think Saeed said it on his channel. He said they have to tear the whole thing down and restart again.
Alan.
Alan.
I don't really give a shit. I hope they fail. I hope they go down.
Fair.
No, you're right.
But you have to laugh on them on the way.
We're all the same, but at least we're going to put something to it.
Yeah, well, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, very, very, very simple. I hope my.
Go on.
God, a day ago, so I respect everything Fergie's done 24 hours later. I don't give a shit.
Hang on. I don't give a shit. I hope they go down. I hope they go out of business. I hope the fans all melt down. I hope they all get suicide. I hate every single last one of.
Whoa! No, Alan.
Hey.
No, stop that.
That's a bit far.
Alan, behave. We don't wish. By the way, we don't wish anyone on the channel. No. Jesus Christ.
No,
I do apologise if anyone was offended by that. That's not what we do here on the channel, the Mancunian way. Yeah, we don't encourage or wish anyone.
It's true, Alan. In our own fan base,
you know what I mean. You know, when
it's a sensitive topic. It's a sensitive topic, and it's not. It's not.
Can we move on quickly, please?
Yeah, let's move on. Right. No wonder we've already got 6 dislikes already for some weird reason. The most dislikes we've had ever on the channel. That's weird. Some groups must be out in force. Anyway,
Haaland.
The Ballon d'Or was given to obviously Lionel Messi again last week. Like I said, I think it's a very political bent award. The top 3 were obviously Lionel Messi, Erling Haaland, and Kylian Mbappe. Personally, I don't think Messi should have even been in the top 3. That's just my personal opinion.
So, wasn't the Ballon d'Or before the last World Cup? So the World Cup was within this Ballon d'Or period. So
they usually do it around October every year. So it was prior to that World Cup.
Yeah.
So
I think not being top 3 is pretty hard. But I do think if you look at the materiality of it, being top 1 was overly generous. But I have to say, I don't think Haaland was robbed. I wouldn't have given, I think there's other City players who potentially I would have given it ahead of Haaland. I'm in the camp that thinks that Rodri, should have been the Ballon d'Or winner. As honestly, I think he was the most important footballer in Europe last year. I think he was absolutely key to the treble, and I think he also won the Nations League with Spain and did some stuff internationally. I think he was probably about the only sort of ever present Spanish player and player of the tournament, and he was player of the Champions League tournament, so effectively UEFA's player of the year in Champions League, and he was also the Nations League player of the year. So in the summer international tournament, he was the player of the summer, and and he wasn't even in the conversation. And I think that's where, for me, the Ballon d'Or is a problem, is if you play up front, you're the only people who get talked about. I mean, there's been some previous winners. I think, we've had Mateus win it and Modric and Hullet, but I reckon about once a decade it gets won by Lev Yashin won it in the 50s or whatever. But I think basically 9 out of 10
Modric only won it 2 years ago, Rich.
Modric is, but in the last 14 years, it's been won by Ronaldo, Messi, Benzema, and Modric.
I understand. By the way, Ming-Yong, thank you for renewing your membership for a 3rd month. You are a legend. Thank you so much, mate. Appreciate that. I know what you're saying, Rich, and I get it. My point is, when Messi and Ronaldo were getting those awards, you could arguably say they probably deserved them.
But do you not think, N'Golo Kante had a year where he was by far the most important player in the World Cup, and he did it for Chelsea and stuff. And so no, but I do think that if you play up front, you get awarded it. Whereas if you're, player like Maldini was phenomenal player. If Messi's got 8 Ballon d'Or awards, Maldini is to defenders what Messi was to attacking, false nines. And, who's got the most Ballon d'Ors, Maldini or Messi? And I do think it is ridiculously biased to attacking players. And I actually think that whilst attacking players are the icing on the cake, it's players like Maldini and Rodri and, John Stones, etc., who are the ones who are key to winning titles. You win titles in your spine, you win titles in midfield. And I just think that it's almost like, right, let's pick up the 10 best strikers in Europe. They shouldn't call it the Ballon d'Or. They should call it the Best Forward Award, because it isn't the Best Footballer Award. It is just, yeah. So that's my view, is that, yes.
Richard, Maldini's a good example, because, he could have easily won a handful of Ballon d'Ors, and yet the only defender that's won one in probably the last 50 years is Cannavaro, because he had one stellar season in 2006.
Yeah, and I think that's
it is basically a best attackers award.
Yeah, I mean it really is, and that's got to change, because take last season, or say the season before last, what Benzema won it. Courtois was far more important for Madrid, and I think a better player for Madrid than Benzema. That Courtois, came 7th or something, didn't really get a look.
No, I understand that, Rich, but like Super City's put here, you think if Haaland played for Real Madrid or the Rags, he wouldn't have won it? And I think he's got a point with that.
I think that's probably fair, because it's picked by journalists, isn't it? It's picked by journalists and people with biases. And,
I mean, when I give you the stats of Messi and Haaland, they're not even comparable.
Yeah. Who was it? Wasn't it Henry Winter who came out and said, I voted for Messi, but virtually said it was just a vote of sentiment. It wasn't about him having more goals than Haaland.
So he's probably not even looked at the
sentiment.
stats.
Yeah.
He's not even looked at the stats. He's just saying, as soon as Messi lifted that trophy in Qatar, done. Shoo-in.
Yeah. And look at the betting. Messi won the thing in Qatar, and the betting's like $1.50 that he's going to win.
The other inconsistency too, I should mention as well, and it's also another Argentinian as well, is so Emiliano Martinez won the goalkeeper of the year award, right? There was another goalkeeper that actually finished above him in the Ballon d'Or rankings at 13th. Martinez was 15th, and that was Bunu, the keeper for Sevilla, I believe it is. So even though he finished the second best goalkeeper in Ballon d'Or, he was the one who still won the best goalkeeper award at the Ballon d'Or. So explain the inconsistency. Explain the inconsistency.
Ederson was second in that, and Ederson quite clearly won the treble.
But Bunu, or whatever his name is, finished highest ranked goalkeeper in the top 30 of the Ballon d'Or. So explain that one to me. That is,
it's ridiculous.
Where's the consistency?
No, it's just it's about hype. It's about big personalities. It's about who's in the papers. It's not about who is the best player or the most important player.
I've also heard other channels talking about, the World Cup holds a lot of sway in the Ballon d'Or voting. Okay, that's fair enough. I totally get that.
But why didn't
Manuel Neuer win the Ballon d'Or for what he did for Germany in the 2014 World Cup? Mesut Ozil as well.
Or Iniesta.
Iniesta in 2010. Perfect.
An equal season to Messi in the Barcelona team, but and won the World Cup.
Yep.
Where they were messed. So there was no consistency.
Mate, it's about who gets the most sponsorship deals and who makes the most money. It's got nothing to do with football whatsoever.
What is exactly the criteria for voting for the Ballon d'Or? Because from what I've been told, I believe it's selected. It's 100 journalists that are selected from one each of the top 100 FIFA nations, and they all basically put a vote in, similar to like what they do with the World Cup bid. They ask all 200 nations to put a vote in for who's going to host that World Cup. And I believe the Ballon d'Or is similar. Only difference is it's one vote for the top 100 journalists from each respective FIFA nation.
So what do you do, Pat, when there's no World Cup and there's no Euro that year?
Well, Haaland will never win.
Toss a coin for
what did it go off
Messi and Ronaldo?
Because someone made a point earlier on. You got to remember, Manchester City won the best team of the year award. Haaland won the best European player award. Pep Guardiola won Coach of the Year award. I don't get where they've even got. Listen to me, Messi was sentiment, nothing but sentiment.
No, it's about who sells more papers, who sells more space, who sells more clickbait. I told you, it's a fix. And when you stop worrying about what Ballon d'Or, because it's run by FIFA, who are one of the most corrupt organisations in the world, it's all about money. It's all about who can sell the most clickbait, who can make the most money. And
don't say well, we're going to talk about it, Alan. Otherwise, we might as well just pack it as a YouTube channel, then, mate.
Well, I know what you're saying. I know you're frustrated, but
I'm frustrated for many reasons at the minute. But carry on.
Well, at the end of the day, it's all about clickbait. Messi sells. Haaland will never win the Ballon d'Or. One, because he plays for Norway and he'll never play the World Cup finals because Norway are not a good side. It's a bit like
They might do that. Now they've got Bob and Odegaard, etc. I think they
One
might.
at a time.
It's a bit like Georgie Best, mate. You know, he played for Northern Ireland and will never entertain the crowd in the World Cup because Northern Ireland were crap, right? And when he was playing for them. So at the end of the day, unfortunately, if he had played for England, he might have stood a chance. But until then, no chance. Absolutely no chance. So we knew months ago that he was never going to get it.
Alan might be onto something here when you're talking about obviously sponsors and the most money coming through. Because I just had a bit of a shout, just a bit of a thought myself. Obviously, Messi went to the MLS because it was the best opportunity, best contract for him. Best money to be made at 36 years of age, whatever it is too. You can also agree that this was done because it's a fantastic opportunity for FIFA to promote the next World Cup in that host nation, given all the controversies of Qatar with the bidding to the setting up of the tournament, to the actual tournament itself, and things like that. I would not be surprised if FIFA probably, not said to advise the voters or things like that, but I think one thing that they certainly would have done is they definitely would have wanted Messi to win that Ballon d'Or, because then it could be reflected of, well, a current MLS player has just won the Ballon d'Or. That's just going to promote the 2026 World Cup even further.
The short-sightedness.
It's a promotion. I think it's been used partly as a promotional tool.
Is that, but I think if they are, it's a mistake, because at the moment, the biggest thing FIFA and football should be doing is bigging up the next stars to take the publicity, because if you're trying to cash in on Ronaldo and Messi now, you are trying to cash in on something that's gone, something that's past, something that isn't what it was. And so it should be in FIFA's interest, honestly. It would have been in FIFA's interest to promote it as a massive head-to-head between Mbappe and Haaland. Try and create the next story, the big stars, because it's not going to be Messi and Ronaldo scoring the goals in the big games.
Could you imagine what
we're going to see this season?
It's never going to happen. Could you imagine if City one day went and got Mbappe, and you've got Mbappe, Haaland, and bloody Musiala? Imagine if we got all them. We'd be a shoo-in for the Ballon d'Or, and they'd still find some excuse not to give it to any of them.
Except for the fact reality does change. Like, I was down at my local electrical store the other day, and I'm not much of a gamer, but all over the store was the latest football game out, and the figurehead of it is Haaland. So you go into the shop in Australia and you've got a big poster of Haaland. You've got a big poster of Haaland. You've got all the boxes. Yeah, that Henry Winter one, Charlie's bang on.
PS5. What do I do? Where's the A button? Where's the up button?
I just run into the goal and draw 0-0.
Can you play Tetris on this?
Someone good. Yeah. Can you play Snake? But the point is that would you have ever thought you'd see the day where at the opposite end of the world, a City player is on the cover of the biggest game released for the year, and there's posters all over the world of City, and you walk into an Australian sports shop and there's more City shirts than United shirts? You'd never ever have imagined that would happen. So I think what happens with the Ballon d'Or will change. Well, that's what I mean, and things will change.
It is one, by the way. Super City's really gone down the conspiracy theory here. Qatar World Cup, PSG owned by Qatar, Ballon d'Or is French-based, in the phrase is carve up.
Possibly.
I'm saying all this, but think about it, because the reason why I think it's more sentiment than it's against Manchester City, because Manchester City had the second best player, plus we had Team of the Year. And how many of our team were actually in the top 10 anyway?
Yeah. Henry Winter said it was, he said, and he was the vote from England, it was sentiment. It was his last chance to vote for Messi, basically.
Yeah.
And Messi won the World Cup, and that was the story everyone
I was
before
only
last year.
surprised
It was
Ronaldo
the
didn't get a
story
shout.
everyone wanted.
I was quite surprised Ronaldo didn't get in the top 3 just somehow.
Yeah, no, it is surprising, but then he was crap for nearly all the year. He was. Poor
I
at the
might be
World
going.
Cup. He was
I'm
poor.
going to Everton away, and I might be going to Chelsea away. Everton, yes. Chelsea, maybe. I mean, for me, I'll be honest with you, because I'll give you some stats. Lionel Messi last season in Ligue 1 for PSG, he made 32 Ligue 1 appearances, scored in 16 times, which is roughly 1 in 2. Making an equal number of assists. The player also had a great start in Champions League, scored 4 goals and 4 assists in 7 games. Still not a patch. Obviously, Erling Haaland scored triple that amount virtually. And then he obviously went over to Inter Miami, was hounded out of PSG, may I add. They protested him out. Let's not forget this. No, they did, Rich. They protested the guy out the door.
But I think he deserved it a bit. I think his behaviour.
Rich, you're proving my point here, mate. And then you want to go and make him the best player in the world.
I don't. I gave it to Rodri.
I'm just saying. Rich, Rodri's not give over, Rich.
In the Mancunian way, Ballon d'Or. Rodri got my vote.
You're only doing that because I gave Aki Player of the Year last year. It's the only reason you're doing it.
No, I gave Rodri Player of the Year.
But part of mine with Aki was a little bit sentimental. I know when I gave Aki, mine was a bit sentimental because I thought what he went through the year before, nearly leaving to go to Chelsea, saying, no, I'm going to stay here and fight for my spot, and became our number 1 left back, thought took one hell of a set of bollocks. And it showed a big set for him.
You can say the same thing about John Stones too.
The difference is, Rich, I'll put it this way. The reason why I gave Aki over Haaland and Rodri is I kind of expected that from Haaland. Not as good, but I expected it. Rodri, I expected it anyway. Aki, I didn't expect that for a full season.
No. But I guess what I'm saying is that and to be fair, I think I said Rodri and Haaland at the end of the season. I did fudge a bit, but to me, clearly,
you told me Haaland's crap, and Ake. When I told you Ake, you sent me a DM, said, "Oh my God, your football."
Because Ake played 20 games for City.
He did really.
My objection to Ake was that he didn't play enough. He played like 22 games or something, and that it was Rodri and Haaland who were there.
Rich, I'm going to get you these minutes. I'm going to get you them all because I don't know where you get this.
Ake play, Haaland, Edison, Rodri, they were the players who were there.
Ake was our number 1 left back last season, Rich, and you're saying he only played like 20
Cancelo played nearly every game till...
Who?
Cancelo played nearly every game till November.
He's been gone a year and you're still saying his name wrong.
Yeah, 18... Well, I'm not going to waste time saying it right now. But, he started 18 games or something.
Who's the pedantic one?
Yeah.
You and you're talking about pronunciations. Got Red Star coming up in a few weeks.
You're on your own with that one.
I mean, yeah, I get it. I understand why Messi's got it, but it's why I was kind of, when Ozzy was talking about it, I sort of resigned myself to, and I think I even said Messi's going to get it. I knew he was because it was sentimental. But the thing that annoyed me is actually Julian Alvarez had a better year than all of them. The only cup he didn't win last year was the actual Carabao Cup and the Community Shield. He won every other trophy available to him. Scored 4 goals in the World Cup. Played, I think it was about 200 minutes less than Messi. And Messi only got 7. He got 4.
Let's factor this in too, Martin, as well. Alvarez came in after Argentina had lost the first game against Saudi Arabia. When they put him in the lineup from game 2 onwards, they completely changed. Yeah,
and where was Messi in the first game? Sat on the sidelines, playing with his Todger, nowhere near anyone. Good evening, FIFA.
And I think people have different memories of the World Cup. For me, Julian Alvarez ran around everywhere, getting the ball, fighting, pressing, getting it back, knocked the ball across, and a penalty was won. And then Messi strolled up, scored a penalty, rinse and repeat. I mean, my memory of the World Cup, there were some moments that Messi, did have some phenomenal moments, but people talk about all the goals he scored, weren't like 5 of the 6 penalties or something. Like it was fairly.
There's a few in there.
Fairly penalty heavy.
Yeah.
And as a pure forward, I actually thought Mbappe played better and looked a more dangerous player. I thought in the World Cup than Messi. In terms of he's still having that. I think everyone got carried away with that brilliant run and traumatizing Guardiola that Messi did, and then they look at the number of goals and they forget they're all penalties. And so I think that in a way there was he was given a lot more of the credit for Argentina than his teammates who, I thought McAllister was great. I thought Alvarez was great. I thought, they all needed more credit.
I'm sorry to jump in, Rich, but other than probably injury at the end of the season when he did his hammer, and he basically played 26 games and nearly played all of those games at 90 minutes.
Yeah. So 2/3, so less than 2/3 of a season.
Played 8 in the Champions League, Rich. No, that's 26 out of 38. Like I said, if we look, there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those injured.
Yeah,
so that's 32.
But how many did Rodri and Haaland and Edison play though?
Well, Edison, I think, was the only player that went over 3,000 minutes in the Premier League. Rodri wasn't too far behind that.
Yeah, I think they were the ones who were, to me, core in every big game. But that we've had that debate.
Yeah,
and now
Rich,
it's about.
Do you know what?
Now it's Ballon d'Or. Should Ake have won Ballon d'Or?
Look at it from this perspective, and anybody in the chat that's from North America might see this perspective. And I figured I'll talk about it, seeing as you've got a Blue Jays cap on. But you look at North American sports, how whenever it comes to the end of a season, they always have their voting, and writers always vote for the MVP, for the Major League Baseball MVP, the NBA MVP. It's actually the way that it's done there is a lot more structured, and it's a lot more based on they'll factor in any player that's had a brilliant season, whether they've broken records for the most amount of goals, the most amount of home runs, or something like that. But they also it becomes a conversation of who had the most, like who was integral to a team that went on and won a championship, or is it a standout player from a team that may not have even made a playoffs, but still had a season that broke records, whether it be in runs scored or home runs, or most 3-pointers or something like that. So there's a bit more structure in the way that the voting's done, and I think a lot of journalists actually have a chance to actually justify why they voted for that particular player. So I feel like if it had been structured in a way that American sports had done, I think we probably would have seen. I still think Messi may have just pipped it a little bit, but I think we would have probably we would have seen a lot more justifications from the journalists as well too, rather than just like jumping in, make their vote and then just scamper off before anybody's had a chance to ask or demand their explanation as to why they voted for that player.
Yeah, but I think you get that a bit in the sport here. Rugby league, you vote every game, and at the end of the season.
Yeah, well, the Dally M, it's voted by a point system by the journalists. 3 points for the best player, 2 points, 1 point, and you don't even have to be on the winning. You don't even have to be on the winning side to get points.
No.
So it's actually quite well structured. Yeah,
and that will take into account how many games you play, your impact, etc. So the Ballon d'Or is just it's completely subjective. It's a bit like Miss World. Miss World. Completely subjective.
Alan does.
Well, I don't even know if it exists anymore. But it's completely subjective.
Trust you to come up with Miss World. So take it your missus is not in the room.
Alan,
final say on it.
Dogs is suspiciously quiet.
I've nothing more to say about on the subject, to be honest with you, mate.
Okay. Rich, just to throw some stats at you, mate. Who do you think played the most minutes for Argentina in the World Cup, Rich? Let's have a guess.
Emilio Martinez.
Yeah, it'd have to be.
Mm-hmm. Yep. How many minutes do you think Messi played?
How many games did they play? 7
Seven out of
games?
7. He got 7 goals, 690 minutes, 7 goals.
Yeah.
Alvarez,
Yeah.
when I said to you that it's actually over 300 minutes difference, only made 464 minutes, scored 4 goals.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Alvarez was. I think Alvarez.
Oh, I still get nightmares of Alvarez pressing Matt Ryan and scoring that second goal against Australia. Messi wouldn't have done something like that.
I'm pretty sure that Alvarez didn't start in the first game, did he?
Nope.
Alvarez came in after they'd lost.
I said Messi was on the
completely changed them going forward.
His energy changed the dynamic in the Argentinian attack. You know, and I'm deadly serious. Messi could not have done what he did without Alvarez's energy, pressing, and movement. And you see that there's some great footage of I think it's the goal that Messi got when he turned Guardiola around 5 times. Is if you actually watch the entire build-up, it is entirely Alvarez's movement that creates the space for Messi. You watch
do you know how many goals
Alvarez's genius who did it.
How many goals he's got in the MLS in 6 appearances?
Oh, 6 appearances.
For the world's greatest player in the MLS in 6 appearances has 1 goal. Do I need to even go?
For a team that I think only finished second from bottom in their Eastern Conference.
And no offense, the MLS is a bloody Sunday league. I'm sorry, I know that will offend somebody. It is.
Well, it is. I mean, Bradley Wright Phillips is one of the greatest strikers the MLS has ever seen. Now, I watched him for City, and I wouldn't have had him down as a player who was going to go and dominate a league. As much as I love the Wright Phillips family, the fact he dominated like he did says a lot.
Right.
Isn't the A-League handicapped by a salary cap similar to the A-League? Because I believe if you want to make the MLS good, they've got to lift the salary cap.
It can't apply to Messi though. There must be cap exceptions.
Yeah, because it's all like sponsorships with Adidas.
You allowed one or is it 1 or 2 overseas?
One marquee signing,
MVP sort of guy.
Marquee signing, yeah. That's what we
have you
used to
seen
call
what
the A-League.
running into Miami? Have you seen what he's done with the season ticket prices?
Yeah,
aren't they like?
Before Messi came, there were people were posting on social media that even the good tickets at their ground were $600 for a season. No, $350 US for a season. After Messi's come in for the new season, they're now $6,500 US, $6,500 US.
And that's probably what you have to do to afford it, because
they're
probably playing Messi. They're probably playing Messi more than their entire turnover. But isn't it more about? It's not.
We got Busquets ain't cheap either. They got Busquets as well. He'll be on some good money.
It's about people coming and saying they've seen Messi play.
Yeah.
That's ultimately what it's about.
If you've seen some of those time-lapse videos they show of how quickly that stadium empty when he gets substituted, it's unbelievable.
Okay, what we'll do is, I have actually seen that. Messi goes off and the stadium just, see ya. Home time.
Doesn't matter what the scoreline is, they're gone.
Anyway, hang on. City have got that now with Haaland. Right.
Yeah, you were one of them at Brighton, weren't you?
I'm sorry for going to a wedding. Bad boy.
Should have held the wedding.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Didn't you leave early from the pub?
It was his own wedding as well.
Didn't you leave early from the pub?
Well, it was always going to be early, mate. It was about 4 a.m.
Good. You were in a pub. At least I was in the ground for some of it. Anyway, swiftly moving on. I get my tickets through legit means. Yeah. Anyway, swiftly moving on.
I'll be looking forward to seeing your batteries in the mail.
Ooh. Don't know what happened with my teeth there. Yep. Right. Pat, who was your actual Ballon d'Or winner?
Excuse me.
Give me the name. Who you think should have won it?
It has to be Haaland.
Rich.
Rodri.
For the old breaking news, Rich gives a one-word answer. Alan.
Haaland.
I think you went a bit lightheaded then.
I know, but he had to exaggerate the Rod a bit, didn't he? You know, so he could go.
Rodri from the Valleys.
Oh, God.
Rich,
No, if you're going to talk about Rodri and Wales, that's a completely different subject. That's not.
Rich,
no.
you should be a politician, mate.
Ah,
Can you give us a one word? Can you give us an answer to this? 45 minutes later, Rich has still not got to the actual answer.
Rich, let's be honest, man. If we're talking about the success of Argentina in the competition, then I think it's an absolute travesty that we haven't mentioned a certain general, Mr. Nicolas Otamendi. Why wasn't he higher up in the voting? That's just an absolute travesty.
Right.
Greatest injustice in world football.
Subject 2. Now, there's a few fans who've been celebrating against Brighton, where there was a lot of fans celebrating the fact that De Zerbi had been linked with the Manchester City job. And all the rival fans were getting a bit giddy and everyone was flying. And then as you normally get, the real quotes come out sort of 2 days later. And Pep's like, yeah, well, I did talk about how I admired him. I haven't gone to the board and said, yeah, make him my next manager. I'm out in a year, make him the next manager. But obviously, the media like to run with an exaggerated story. And then the news was coming out about John Stones' new contract. City want to tie down. And the news came out that Manchester City are trying to negotiate, or are in negotiations to extend Pep Guardiola's contract that does expire in 2025. Now, for me personally, I think it's a no-brainer. I'd heard on the grapevine a little while ago this was all in the works, in the plans. He's happy in Manchester, doesn't want to move anywhere. Why would you? I'm going to be honest with you, it's no surprise to me. I don't know where he'd ever go. I think he'll do 10 years plus. I think it's come from rivals and media with all this. This will be Pep's last contract because it's wishful thinking. Because in their head, they believe when Pep leaves, Manchester City will just plunge to the bottom of the league. I know Alan thinks we're going there already, but we're not.
I think they don't fully understand that how much Pep loves and enjoys City and how much he loves and enjoys Manchester. I think some of the press, particularly the London press, have their view of anywhere outside London, have their view of Manchester, and I don't think they truly believe that a Barcelona sunshine manager who's been at Barcelona and Bayern, I don't think they believe that he can have come and joined City and actually be loving it. And I think everyone thought he'd do 3 years and then he'd go. And then when it wasn't 3, they thought 5 years he'll go. And then when it wasn't 5, it's 7 years go. And I just think they just don't believe the statement. It's like Aguero. I don't think they ever believed Aguero or David Silva were going to stay like they did. I think they all thought that David Silva's here as a stepping stone to Madrid or Barcelona. Aguero's here as a stepping stone to move to Real Madrid. And I just think at no point have the press and the London press realised the quality of life in Manchester. They probably think there's no restaurants up north and stuff. And I don't think they've realised the quality of life at City and how good City is in terms of looking after its players, training its players and giving them a fun environment. And I think you saw it from Gundo's speech the other day, just what standards and how close that City squad are. And I just think everyone misses it.
Gundo also mentioned that they received no help whatsoever in finding accommodation in Barcelona from the football club. They've had to do everything themselves, and I mean everything.
There you go.
Yeah, and I'm now on my iPhone with you, Martin. I'll be staying on, so I've got to come off my laptop because of one, work, and two, because it's slow.
Yeah, just alluding to what you said, Alan. Yeah, I think Gundogan's looked at this now and almost like a holiday and said, "Yeah, this isn't what it was on the brochure."
Well, City do look after the players. I think everyone has seen that from the players with
from all ages, yeah.
But from all ages, even Sane now he's begging to go back to City because of what they do off the field for the players, and they do, and even for their girlfriends or wives. They go out of their way to make sure that they're happy, and that makes a huge difference. It really does. I know the weather's shit in Manchester. We all know that, but it's still a great place. It's still a great place. The football club where they work is they look after their people, and that means not just the players, the staff there as well.
I honestly don't think there's a better place where Pep can go. I really don't. I'm
struggling to think of one that's comparable. I'd agree with you there.
Yes, we have heard about Silver Lake and Mubadala, Sheikh Mansour's, Khaldoon Al Mubarak's company are looking at wanting to do something with Endeavour, but whether it's Endeavour, which is weird because Endeavour have just bought WWE and UFC and made it TKO. So, but as Rich will tell you, some companies do that. Some companies buy, merge with other companies to then sell back on again for another profit, which is what Silver Lake and Sheikh Mansour might be wanting to do. But that'll be interesting. We might end up with WWE.
I've not seen that, Martin. Can you explain what's happened, or Rich, what's happened?
Oh, they're just saying that Mudabala, who are an investor in Silver Lake, so I don't know if they're buying it together.
Yeah.
It's not a company; it's a sovereign wealth fund of the UAE. It's their kind of tech, future investment fund. They're talking about buying out a sports business that owns UFC and WWE and various things. Like the Saudis are buying up.
Rich. They've only just actually come into business.
Okay.
Yeah. But they're basically, it's like this Saudi investing into global sports, people investing into Formula One, etc. I think it's, and Saudi investing into golf. They've talked now that cricket's on massive alert, that Saudi Arabia is trying to buy into cricket. So I think probably it's reflective of the UAE realizing that they need to get in on that game and not let Saudi Arabia buy up all the sports for sale that get in there as well.
Oh, okay. So is that going to be on our? Is that going to be 116 charges then for illegal profiteering of?
Well, no, it'll be nothing. It'll be completely nothing to do with City, other than the owner. Then a connection to us will own.
Well, I see the World Cup's will probably go to Saudi Arabia because they're their only.
It is going to Saudi.
Yeah, the Aussies,
Australia dropped out. Yeah, which is disappointing.
Well, the Middle East is the only countries in the world that have got money in at the moment. Yeah. No one else can afford it.
Australia doesn't need, with the stadiums Australia has, they wouldn't need to invest massively. So I don't get. They must have pulled out because they were certain they were going to lose. Because Australia's one of the few countries that doesn't need investment.
Yes, Rich.
Exactly. So they pull out. They're going to lose.
Rich, it was listen. I'm not going to go into conspiracy theories. I wish Saudi Arabia all the best, but the football over there is not what they said it was going to be. The crowd show that nobody's interested in watching it. Jordan Henderson playing in front of 940 odd people.
Yeah, the agenda is, mate, is they want to open the world up to football and get people to go there. So the people
absolutely fine, Alan. But at the end of the day, they can't get their own people to go and watch it.
Well, the people will go for the World Cup, and they will do.
Yeah, but what do you do? It's not just about the World Cup. It may be for them, but they're trying to poach all the world's best players over there to play in front of no fans.
Yeah, wasn't there the stat that one of the Steven Gerrard's team got, a quarter of the fans that Bury got on the weekend?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not taken off over there like they thought it was going to do. They thought it was going to be bring the big names and everyone comes in. It don't happen like that. Go have an interest in the sport as well.
Well, they probably overpriced it, mate.
Bloody hell, Ali. He should be a political person. Imagine UFC at the Co-op Arena. That is happening, Cade.
We don't want Alan in politics.
Yeah. Alan, no one's interested in watching it. It's now to do with price.
Yeah.
There were dark days, but we deserve this.
Yeah.
And it's fine. I have no problem with it. Saudi Arabia can do what they want the same way as them. My point is that you said you were going to take all the superstars and make this into a world's best league.
Live football.
Not with 900 people watching it, you're not. Whether you like that or not, you're not.
And to be honest, actually, Rich, talking about, like I just said, live football. Live golf doesn't get the crowds. Live golf hasn't got any of the crowds close to what they get at majors or PGA Tour events.
Yeah, because
you can throw all.
People want to see the courses they know.
Exactly. It comes back to this money argument. People think you can just throw money, and it's an easy fix and you become the best. It's not that easy. It takes hard work, infrastructure, and everything else that goes with it.
Yeah.
Can't just throw the money around.
I think that's why Australia pulled out, because they realised Saudi was going to be willing to spend the money, which, be honest, majority of it goes straight into FIFA's coffers anyway. Australia would offer, would be able to offer a fair amount, but the problem is, because we've already got the structure set up, FIFA aren't going to make as much money from us. So that's why they're always going to take, any day of the week, they're going to choose Saudi over Australia. I'm disappointed. I would have loved to have seen a World Cup in Australia. One, because we're a great sporting nation, but number two, the world would, I think FIFA and the world would understand it. It's like, hang on a sec, we've got a hidden gem down here. There's a reason why Sydney in 2000. Sydney was given the award by the IOC as the greatest games ever hosted, because we know how to host sporting events down here.
Yeah, and Pat, that's true. But I don't think it means Australia's not going to get it. I think it means Australia wasn't prepared to go head to head with Saudi Arabia.
Given the current economical climate, we can't. So I think
they may think
8 years later, maybe we might go for one. Yeah, it might make more sense. Yeah,
and I think probably after. If things settle down in the world, it might even be 8 years after that, because I suspect at some point China will, if the world politics sells, they will want, a World Cup. So, but I think Australia is a really safe place to have it.
I mean,
I think the key is 2032 when Brisbane has the Olympics.
Yeah. Anyway, Martin.
Yeah, carry on. Oh, he's frozen.
Why would you leave? Because you've got a new stadium coming in, an extended stadium, brand new fan zone, all the hotels, you've got everything coming in. There is nowhere in world football where Pep can go. He talks about how he's treated with respect in Manchester. I think he's got a board that are going to back him. And I think he will. Because I don't think the squad revolution's changed. I don't think that's finished yet. I think there'll be more players in and more players out as we're going along on this journey. So I honestly think there's a lot to look forward to with him. I know people talked about international duty, but I think that's something he'll do at the end of his career more than now.
Yeah, I agree with you, Martin. I just don't think there's anywhere comparable to what he's getting right now at City. I think he enjoys the club. I think he likes the people there. I think he's happy. I even think his missus knows that he's happy at City. He gets to go home when he feels like it, on a City plane. So at the end of the day, why would he want? He's not going to go back to Barcelona in their current state. He never got his way at Barcelona. That's why he left. I can't see a comparable club that he would go to.
And I think there's, whilst I'm
Superstar.
not saying I think he's going to try and beat Ferguson's Premier League record, I think that he's
Comment of the night.
going to be. I think he will want to have, to beat the record for the most trophies. To get 50 trophies. I think he'll want to win multiple Champions Leagues because I think he probably wants to be up there. 5-6 Champions Leagues on his career, so he's at the top of that chart. So I think he's probably, I think he'd love to do the 4P. I think he'd love to win 2 trebles so that people can't say, he's got a treble, United have got a treble. So I think, and funnily enough, by the time he gets all those, he'll probably be on 9 Premier Leagues, and then he'll be like, 13 is pretty close.
13
So the rate he's going, he'll have done it in a decade. So I suspect that he wants another Champions League. He definitely wants another Champions League. I think he wants to overtake that list of trophies. I think he wants to break records because he does look at the records. He does look at the records, and fairly open from the books you've read about some of the recent seasons that the whole team are aware of the records and what they're going to do. And I think he's going to continue. And if he enjoys if he recycles the team again, and we're a team, with, the new guns, the Alvarezes, the Haalands, the Guardiolas become central, Foden becomes central to another generation, why would he go?
Just to let you know, Julian, Rodri's still got 4 more years left, 2027.
Yeah.
He only extended last season at the start of last season, didn't he?
2027.
Yeah.
Like Spa and Monza, not some boring place in Qatar. The Premier League gone very quiet about City. I know Everton have a problem, could be 12 points, but I don't think they will. I think they will get money and get a money fine, just my opinion. City and Everton, people are looking at the City and Everton case in the very same light, and they shouldn't do.
No,
they should look at it in a very separate thing. The separate cases. So I don't get why people do this. Everton are getting 12 points deduction for one breach. What were you going to get for 115? People need to realise where that 115 came from. The 115 came because they had no proper evidence. So what they did is charge City with everything.
Yeah. I think also people forget that you don't get 20 years in prison if you're not found guilty. So it's like the logic of the fans is like saying this burglar just got 6 months, but this person who's accused of murder hasn't even got a sentence. That's the logic for him, and it's just stupid.
Well, I got it today.
You don't get a sentence till you're found guilty.
You're a cheat. I've no respect for you. So what do you mean? You've been charged. I said, right, but have we been found guilty? No. So what are you jumping on then?
Yeah.
They've got no answer. Pep could do England, could FIFA, but I don't think
I think he will.
That's what I was just about to get to.
Yeah. Pep will manage England at a World Cup. I'm convinced of it. I just think now it might be 4 years later than I thought.
Look at it.
He said he wants international football. Where else will he go?
Right. What did he say?
He has said on the record. No, he's just said he wants to manage an international football.
He also said he wanted to manage in Italy.
But I think consistently he said international football. Italy has kind of lost its luster a bit, I suspect. But where's he going to go? I mean, he could become Italy manager. He could become Holland manager, England manager. I don't think Brazil, with the state of Brazil at the moment.
I think Holland's a good shout.
Spain manager. Maybe
Holland's a good shout.
US,
it's a long-term thing, but I think Holland's a good shout.
Yeah, possibly somewhere like the US, if they were prepared to pay him 20 million, he might enjoy living in New York or LA. But yeah,
look at this, right? So Pep at the moment is 52 years of age. He'll be 53 in January. If you want to look at basically the managers that he's been competing with over the last 10 to 15 years or so. You got Jose Mourinho, who's 60 years of age, and you got Carlo Ancelotti, who's currently 64 years of age. From what we know, this is meant to be one of Ancelotti's last seasons before he goes and takes the helm at the Brazil national team. which I think is a huge sort of revolution in Brazilian football, because for generations they've always been, we only sign managers who are ex-Brazil national players. So for them to go outside of Brazil is a huge swing for me. Now, Pep, at 52 years of age, he's doing fantastic. Like, he's mentally fit, he's physically fit. He can do what he wants to do at City probably for at least another 10 years, in my opinion. I think until he hits his 60s, then he'll probably, when he starts to slow down a little bit more, he might consider going into international football, because obviously with his age and as he slows down, he won't be able to do what he does at City, being there 5-6 days a week, doing everything, working behind the scenes with the players, with the boardroom, with everyone at the club. When you become an international manager, you have a bit more of that luxury where you can basically spend a lot of your time at home, get ready with the players when international break comes around. And when there's no international break, you're basically spending your time just talking and liaising with your respective National Football Association. So for me, apart from City, I don't think there's anywhere else for him to go for the next 5 or 10 years. And I think he'll want to try and create a legacy, create a dynasty at this club. And then once Father Time catches up with him, I think he'll be in a position where he'll still want to manage football, but he'll still be able to have a bit of a life and still be able to enjoy enjoy the autumn of his life and he could still do it in football. And I think international football would be a good way for him to do that when he reaches that respective age.
I don't see it. I really don't know why, but I don't see it.
I see it, mate, but I don't see it for 10 years. That's how I see it.
I think he'll end up going I do think he'll have a go in Italy.
The problem with Italy, though, is if it keeps being the way it is now, there'll be a similar thing to what he had in Germany with Bayern. He'll just fall. It doesn't matter what he does on the pitch; he'll still fall victim to the boardroom and the politics of whichever football club he's at.
Yeah,
that's the issue. I just feel like it'll be Bayern all over again if he went to, say, like one of the Milan clubs or Juventus or something like that. God forbid, he probably won't want to go to Juventus for a while.
No.
No.
Could be like the Cascades, the only charge that was stick, he's not cooperating. I think that's the only thing they'll charge us with, the non-cooperation.
Well, it's not, at the end of the day, it's not a court case, it's a commission. And a commission is a authority appointed by a government or official body with authority to do something. A commission is appointed to investigate the allegations or charges. So at the end of the day, that's exactly right. What they've done is they've refused to cooperate with regarding pointing at the emails that they've got, and said no, not showing you anything. So they've just gone, right, we'll just charge you with everything, all the 115 charges. So we've just got to try and trust and hope that which is not an independent commission, it's an appointed commission that are not corrupt. And because it's appointed, that's the only thing that worries me.
We're not ready. I've always said, if say you've done something wrong, I will pound them. But
mate,
I honestly think everything's fine. Do you think City go ahead with a extension of a stand, building a hotel, buying superstar players if they're going to get
their investors keep investing?
Yeah. Investors keep getting. They've just signed a brand new sponsorship deal. You think they're all doing that with any kind of hint they're getting it? No.
Well, Martin, I pray to God you're right, because if they are found guilty of cheating, they've got.
Alan, you did this with UEFA, and I told you we'd be fine with UEFA, and you didn't believe me.
Fine. I'm just saying, Martin. I do not trust the Premier League in any shape, way, or form.
Right. But Alan,
all other 19 clubs are the same.
Legal lawyers.
It's not a court, mate. It's a commission.
Yeah. Panic on the streets of London.
Why have they got legal lawyers then?
Well, mate, that's the right thing to do because they know the law.
No, you just said it's not a court. You said they can't.
Because it's a commission. Right? It's a commission. Yeah. It's a commission.
Yes, I know, Alan, but they've still got to follow process.
Yeah.
They can't just come up with a jumped up load of evidence. It's not allowed to do that.
They can't break English law. They can't break
you
English
can't
law.
sit there and just make it all up just to throw City down.
And
Yes,
it doesn't matter whether you trust them.
What is it, £85,000 a day on a lawyer? Just
An hour. An hour.
An hour. Come
an
on,
hour
Alan.
to they've already spent over 30 million.
Right, and that's what I mean. But come on, Alan. You're worrying over nothing.
Yeah, well, you're right.
The big issues are there's bigger things at play as well, because ultimately, and this is the Premier League's problem, is even if they find evidence on City, they're still dealing with two of the biggest investors in the UK with tens of thousands of jobs depending on it. And if they embarrass or anything, what is ultimately at the moment an incredibly, given what's happening in the Middle East, an incredibly important strategic ally of the UK and even more so the US, if they embarrass, one of the most senior figures in both politically and economically in a country like that, it could be disaster for the country. And that is the problem with quasi state-owned clubs, is that they now, even more Newcastle, the government is going to be absolutely paranoid about anything that the
they'll have everything under the microscope
to upset or embarrass Saudi Arabia, because at the end of the day, those are places where tens and tens and tens of billions of British sales go through, tens and tens of thousands of jobs. And so it almost goes above, and this is the problem with ownership in football like it is now, it almost goes above the mere game and what's going on in it. But that's another topic.
Like I said, it's all right now. City will do everything in a due course and a due process. He's got 2 years left, and they'll do what they always do. They'll get to the last year and they'll go again and renegotiate, and he'll sign. I've never panicked about him ever leaving.
No, he won't leave. Not at the moment.
I wouldn't wish the league on Pep shambles inside out. And what are you on here? Inside out, round and around. What? Anyway, let's move on to
upside down
topic of the evening. What do you think I said? What do you guys think about the stuff Tommy said about post-Pep cheeky leaving? Well, it depends, because Tommy said today, that there is going to be a discussion with Pep to stay. Talking about the Vincent Kompany stuff, I don't know, because you're talking a long way down the line at Trust.
Yeah, Vincent needs to prove himself for at least.
By the way, I was the only one who said Burnley would get relegated, and you all laughed at me. Thank you very much. Good night.
I
think you might be being
get relegated after 10
there,
games.
right?
No, I'm not. But I was the only one who said they were crap defensively and we're not going to do well, and everyone was like, "No, they're brilliant."
Yeah,
So
I was the only one who said. I was the only one who said
We'll
United.
bring that up for discussion in May next year.
Yeah, I was the only one who said United were absolutely rubbish and could be in for relegation.
Telling your company might not be there come May.
But I think there's a bit, undoubtedly, we are going to see Cheeky, Varane, Pep. At some point, they're going to go. And I suspect, actually, it might be Varane or Cheeky almost before Pep. They've been here for a long time. They're not, both Cheeky's a bit older than Pep, and Varane's, I think, a fair bit older. So we are going to see some changes, absolutely no question. The true test is whether we set up for it. And I have to say, I would like, when Pep signs his new contract, when he extends, us to bring in another manager, under him, like he had Arteta, rather than it being Lilo, so that actually we have someone who's assistant manager who's worked with him for a couple of years, who is an option to take over. There will be other options. There's prodigies of him like Luis Enrique or, Arteta out there. There's managers who we might rate like, Zerbi. But I would like to see someone also come in as assistant manager.
I agree with you.
so that we have an option of promoting someone or bringing someone in from outside, and we should really be driving that now. So the thing with Company, you know, whether he does good or not, I would not want someone coming, even if he had Burnley in the top 10, from Burnley to City to be manager. If Company came in and he was assistant for 2 years to Pep, working with Pep every day,
you're not talking
with the
assistant,
squad,
Rich,
to me that would be an option.
Director.
Yeah, but I'm saying
CEO, managing director. I'll be honest with you, because they're saying he's got better characteristics as that. Listen, I don't enjoy being correct on the Burnley thing at the minute. I wanted Company to do well. I just think they were very bad. This is just my opinion. I thought they were very bad in the market. I didn't think James Trafford was ready to come into the Premier League.
Mate.
He's a good keeper, but they threw him in the deep end.
Yeah,
in Premier League. Yeah.
Don't forget, he's 18 months ahead of schedule. They didn't plan to go up last year, and they did. They walked it.
I think
they want another year.
They're not the first club to do that either, Alan. So you can see.
Really remind me.
They were throwing all the money to get up, Alan.
Yeah, they really remind me of Nottingham
Forest
Forest.
What you're doing is you're doing sentimentality because you can't have a
because it came out of his mouth.
He said it himself. Martin. He didn't think he'd
Burnley's owners said
but
put all
Vincent
the money in,
Company
go up.
Vincent Company said
he
did not think they had a chance of going up in the first season.
So, hang on, Alan, shush.
You go with the American owners. We'll go with Vincent Company.
Right, what I'm saying is, Rich, do you believe a manager or do you believe his boss?
I believe that the manager thought one thing, the boss might think another, and that's
right.
That's
the reality. I'm going to believe the owner of the football club before I'm believing the manager of the football club.
I will always trust a man like Vincent Company and what he says over an American owner who knows now about football. You know, that's like who would I listen to? Who would I listen to?
Have a go at Vincent. It's all the owners. It's no six-fingered.
You know what?
Totally agree.
And they remind me completely of Nottingham Forest. Too many new Nottingham Forest last season. Too many new signings. A bit of chaos early on, and what we will see is whether, like Nottingham Forest, they start to come together. The players settle in. The manager has an effect. Or whether they continue to stay as they are.
Hang on, Shaman, Company not backed. Really?
I think he's backed.
Hang on, that's how he has been backed. I think they bought the wrong players.
Yeah.
They can't afford the big players. They can't afford the big players.
How much was Howard Bellis?
He's not there.
No, how much was it?
20 million if they go up.
He's gone to Southampton in the Championship on loan.
And if they get promoted, we get 20 million quid from Southampton for it.
Yeah.
Burnley can't afford 20 million, mate.
They spent about 70, didn't they?
I mean,
I give up today.
How much?
Well, James Trafford was 20 million on his own.
Well, I mean,
I think, Martin, you might be right. You might.
James Trafford was 20 million on his own.
I don't think you can judge after 10 games where you've signed 7 players or 8 players.
It was 17 million.
Whether they're going to stay up. Yeah. So I think we'll wait and see. I think not signing Bellis was a mistake. I think they've signed a lot of new players, but I'm not writing them off after 10 games. But they might well get
given how fragile some other clubs are, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
why am Manchester City trending? Sorry.
They're nearly as good as United. Don't forget
Manchester City are trending on Twitter. I don't know why. That's quite funny. What? The number 3 trending at the moment.
116 charges.
I don't know why. Anyway, right, let's get on to our final topic. Manchester City play Bournemouth on Saturday. Now, believe it or not, Manchester City have a fabulous record against the Cherries. 12 from 12 since they've been in the Premier League. And we have given them generally a bit of a slap at each time we play them, especially at home. Especially the Etihad, we tend to slap them quite often. Just to give you the last few, we beat them 4-0 last season at home, 2-1 in the League Cup, then 2-1 in the Premier League, 3-1 away, 3-1 at home, 4-0 at home, 2-1, 2-0, 4-0, 4-0, 5-1. So, yeah, the last time Bournemouth got anything out of a Manchester City game was down at Dean Court on basically 1999, 13th February, where Kevin Haaland got sent off for aggressive walking towards a referee.
That
I
was
remember
that
that.
was
Very last
Bournemouth,
time.
wasn't it? Yeah.
I remember
The
that.
very last time Bournemouth got anything, 25, nearly 24 years ago.
Do you know what? I'm still traumatized by, I think it was about 89 when Bournemouth came back. It was at Main Road, came back from 3-0. Didn't they? They came back from 3-0 and drew 3-3 against us.
That was a put.
In-
That was on Bournemouth, wasn't it?
But at Bournemouth, yeah. It was. Remember that game? That
1989.
And that nearly cost us.
Yeah, it did.
Big time. Wasn't that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
6th of
Bournemouth
May,
have got-
1989.
they have got a history against us.
I can't see
Not
them.
quite
I
like
can't
not
see
like
them.
Wickham though. Yeah, they can't bring on Luther Blissett, can they?
For a bonus
They can't bring
point,
Luther
remember the
Blissett
goal
back.
scorers from that game?
No, I think Paul Cooper was playing. I think Paul Cooper was playing in goal, the old Ipswich goalkeeper, and was about 75, or he looked about 75.
Well,
But
anyway,
89.
like I said, 17 games we've won, 2 we've drawn, and we've lost none. We've only played them 19 times in their whole existence, believe it or not. We've not played them very often enough anyway. Peter's gone for a 5-0 straight away, 4-0, Haaland 2, Doku and Rodri. Have a little bit of that. Listen, by the way, I don't want Burnley to go down. I'm just saying defensively, they're shambles. And I personally think, and I think Company's using them as a bit of a stepping stone as well. And listening to some of the Burnley fans, I think they're starting to realise that as well, because there's some Burnley fans just starting to turn just a touch on Company at the moment. They want to, funnily enough, they want to go back to the hoofball, which was really weird.
Well, we'll see what happens
Yeah.
in January because he's going to have to sign some centre halves, isn't he?
Well, that's what I mean. He had one until Howard Bellis and didn't want him.
That's a
Anyway,
strange one.
yeah, very, very strange. Very, very strange, that one.
It could have been the amount of the City wanted cash. I don't know. I mean, who knows?
I know, but then to go to Southampton on loan, Rich.
Yeah, no, that was. I don't understand. In many ways,
Anyway,
I don't understand why we didn't keep him.
Obviously, we've had a week off, a luxury we don't normally have due to the Carabao Cup. Pep's press conference is tomorrow. From what I've heard, everyone is fit by KDB.
Who is now apparently not back till January, according to
that's
KDB
something now been
himself.
knocked back. Even though he is
Yeah.
actually running and everything
Yeah.
now. He's,
Well, KDB said that himself, and he may be trying to be cautious.
hang on a minute.
Yeah, don't,
I'm gonna
don't,
be-
don't get your hopes up.
Yesterday, Mikel Arteta told all the Arsenal fans he was treating the League Cup the same way as he was treating the Premier League, and totally lied to them all and went and got spanked at West Ham. So I'm not believing what people say anymore in this game of football. People
have to
tell
say-
porkies.
Yeah.
People tell lies. Does anyone give Bournemouth a cat in house chance?
No, I want Bournemouth to go down because of sacking. The most inexplicable decision of the last, probably except all United signings, is why on earth did Bournemouth sack the manager? To me, he was, after Pep and the treble, he was close to manager of the season. He was up there with Arteta as one of the best manager jobs last year, keeping Bournemouth up in the way he did. And then they sacked him. And I remember when I was told, it was probably a few weeks after it actually happened, just being absolutely gobsmacked. I thought he'd been being talked about as one of the, but you know, on the net, on radio, on YouTube, as being one of the best managers of the season. And then he's sacked. And I just do not get that. I just do not get it. It's madness. Absolute madness.
Remember, Burnley don't have the resource. True, I'm not saying they have, but
Which is why you have Gary O'Neill managing you.
The point is, Blue Art, Alan said they haven't spent a lot when they've spent 120 million in the summer.
No, on one player. They haven't spent over
They spent 120.
A lot of that is their promotional money as well.
The point I was making was they were back. They were
it
back.
was all Nottingham Forest. They did what Nottingham Forest did.
They were
signed a huge volume.
They went out and tried to buy. They didn't kick out.
Martin. The most they've spent on one player was 18.5 million, and that was a guy from Basel, which is a centre forward.
Alan,
that still doesn't excuse not signing Bellis. Not signing Bellis. To
all
me,
I'm saying is, whether you like it or not, they spent 120 million in the summer, Alan,
and didn't sign Bellis, which was weird.
Yeah, look, Rich, what you were saying about Bournemouth is just like, why would they let Gary O'Neill go? Because that run of wins that they got going post World Cup was the whole reason why they were able to cruise home for the remainder of the season. I think they're pretty much safe from the drop with about 4 or 5 games left to go. So
he did a stunning job.
By the end of the season, they were cruising, and I was just like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Yeah.
Is there any hope for Bournemouth? Because now the manager midweek they played Liverpool in the Carabao Cup. The manager blamed the wind. I'm not.
That sounds like
that's what happens when you spend 9 minutes. That's what happens when you spend 9 minutes with Klopp.
If anyone's watched time, if anyone wants time,
that's Klopp. Give us a good excuse.
Ty's
excuses are contagious.
Well, Ty from AFTV once they blamed the rain and the wind. Yeah. So, but that's from
Ferguson once blamed. Ferguson once blamed the colour of their away kit. I mean, there's been some good excuses.
It was ugly, that Rich. That was ugly.
It was, but you look at. I think it was spending too much time with Klopp, because I've seen Klopp blame the wind, the grass, the rain, the temperature. Klopp is the world's best manager at finding environmental excuses for defeat. So I think Bournemouth spent time there. He probably, when he gave Klopp a hug at the end, he said, "What excuse should I use?" And Klopp said, "Wind," and he probably went with that.
Yeah. Remember these topics: chocolate bars, hazelnuts, and nugget taster.
Patrick, that is hurting my ears.
Good memory. Truth is, season I do not.
I didn't say anything.
True.
No, but
I mean,
tapping.
To me, and I don't want to go down the arrogant road because I don't. This could be, and I don't normally do it, but I do think this could be a chance to get our goal difference going.
Yeah, and to give if we've got any niggles, it'll be a chance to rest. We don't have to kill ourselves.
Alan, do you see any issues with Bournemouth?
I think we'll win comfortably, to be honest with you.
Adam's gone 6-0.
Hey?
Adam's gone 6-0. FIFA's gone 10-0.
No, I think it'll be a 3 or 4-0.
Are we expecting any rotation within the team?
Yes, because I think he'll save players for the Champions League on the Wednesday or whenever they play.
Tuesday,
is it right? Well, Wednesday morning for us in Oz. So I think they'll save a few players for the champ because they win that game. They're pretty much guaranteed through, aren't they?
Yeah, I think if we win it, we're probably guaranteed top spot.
Yeah, they're definitely through. All they need is a point against Leipzig, and we got top of the group.
Yeah, so
because of head-to-head.
I think. I think we've got. I don't think we'll rotate for the sake of it, but I think if there's any player who they think's got a little niggle or, isn't fully back to full fitness and they want to protect, I think we will. So, I don't think we'll see Stones play both those games. I think probably against Young Boys, Lewis will get the gig doing the Stones role. And I suspect, Walker will get arrested one of the 2 games. Akanji
Say
and Ake are going to
arrested
get a
or
run
arrest?
around. I think they won't play Walker twice in those 2 games. I think he'll play one.
So is he going out on a bar crawl?
Well, he might well do, knowing him. But I think I think it'll be a fairly strong team. But we might, we'll probably see a Kovacic or a Nunes in the team. We'll probably see Doku in the team.
I want to see Rico start, but I think he'll be safe for young boys.
I'm fancying a bit.
I would love us to be brave enough to rest Rodri in one of those 2 games, probably against young boys.
It would be nice for Calvin Phillips to get a nice send off.
Yeah,
I would like to see him one last time before he goes. And I think young boys could be the one. I think I'm with you. I think Nunes does play on Saturday against Bournemouth. I think it's an ideal time.
Ake and Kanji will get a game.
Yeah.
Probably.
Edison play both?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. He's the standard pick. But, if they were going to rest Edison, then you'd rest him against young boys. But Pep doesn't usually do that unless there's a reason. And I think we might see one game Alvarez play 9 and Haaland get one rest. But Haaland might refuse and be desperate to play because he,
do you know what? I'm just one of them.
He wants to get goals.
But the way it is at the top at the moment, I look at Arsenal scoring goals, Liverpool are scoring goals, Tottenham are still up there. I just think I always like to get give someone a good idea to get that goal difference up.
Arsenal did that last week against Sheffield. They got 5 goals.
Yeah,
and that's jacked up their goal difference too. Yeah.
Get it up, and then it gives you that buffer at the top somewhere. Because I always think a good, healthy goal difference is like an extra point. So, and these are the games you should do. No offense to Bournemouth, and it's going to sound so cocky and arrogant, but I'm sorry, City should be battering these with a week's rest.
And the fact that Bournemouth just played yesterday too.
Yeah,
they're not a team that's familiar with playing every 3 days.
Thank you. Great point about saying that. And they played yesterday against Liverpool, and it was a closely contested game. That's okay. Wonder strike by certain Darwin Nunes. By the way, we do wish. I know there's banter, but for Diaz's father, we do wish that gets sorted out. Glad his mother was. I know there was reports today. Apparently, he'd been killed, but there's mixed reports. Some saying that's rubbish. Some are saying so. I don't know. We just hope it gets sorted out, in a positive light for everyone.
So what's that? Been report? What do you mean by killed?
Oh, you don't know the story, Alan? He's
no,
Luis Diaz's parents got kidnapped in Colombia.
You're joking.
Like it's
mother got released.
Sounds like a hostage, like a ransom sort of situation.
Mother's been
apparently
released.
mother's been released. Dad, they're not sure yet. They don't think the dad's been released.
Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So that's for me. I think a good hiding for Bournemouth. So just let everyone know there will be no post-match on Saturday. I'm out. Saturday night, I'm having date night with my other half. Bit of quality time.
Cinema?
Nope.
Marvel film?
I'm having a night off from my mum and dad as well. So going to having some time, bit of family time. And we will be back Sunday night for the post-match for Bournemouth. And then we'll be back for the Tuesday game post-match when I get back from the Etihad. For young boys as well, we'll let you know what times when I've spoke to all the lads, and we'll see who is available. Hamza says, no thanks for Phillips to play. If you can't play Phillips against young boys at home, you've got a real problem. Carson's not playing, mate. Not against Bournemouth. No chance.
I've heard Remis is getting offered a coaching job at City next season.
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
He'll stay, won't he? He'll stay. Because it really is a coaching job he has now. I mean, he's really there as a kind of, figurehead of coach. Yeah, Oscar Bob. I'd like to see Bob given 90 minutes. That would
He
be.
deserves a game. One of these 2 games.
Yeah, I'd like to see him given a chance
Okay.
to show he's better than and so he can take Odegaard's place in the Norway side behind
Rich,
Haaland.
behave. Martin, we want post-match review mid-dinner at the dinner table.
Yeah, the thing he hasn't told the missus is the dinners at Pep's restaurant.
Costa. Costa.
No, it's at El Tasca or whatever it is. What
Dinner at Costa, dessert at Starbucks.
Yeah. Here's your oatmeal caramel frappuccino.
Yep.
Yeah, it is terrible news about Diaz's father. It is fighting you. Listen, he is leaving in January. Let him leave with a bit of dignity now. Bloody hell.
Yeah.
Right, anyway, big thank you for everyone who has joined us. Smash those likes on the way out. The views are a bit down at the minute. Let's get these views up. They went flying up, and now the last week they've gone back down again. Let's try and get the views back up. If you can share it around, that'd be amazing. On Sunday, we'll do the end of the month draw as well for October. So there'll be a prize given away to one of our members at the end of Sunday night's show. So anyway, thank you, gentlemen, for joining us.
Thanks, Martin.
Cheers, Martin.
Always a pleasure. Never a chore.
Thank you.
No worries. Right. Take care, all, and we'll see you on the next one. Sunday night, where City, hopefully, will have another 3 points in the bag.
Another nightmare time for us boys, isn't it?
And have a great night. A great night out, Martin. Enjoy.
Enjoy what Marvel film you seen.